Look at all the possibilities! Greetings and welcome to SmartWatchTix.com. We have got an amazing smartwatch in here that does all of this and more. It's not even on the box. Look, heart rate, sleep monitor, blood oxygen, blood pressure, calories, more exercise modes. It also does ECG. It also has a built-in thermometer and does temperature. Gang, it does it all. It's the one we've been looking for. Here it is, and it is sweet. Let me tell you about it. This E90 is a really hard one to find, but we did trace it down through Gearbest. Here it is. Gearbest has it on flash sale under $50. Be sure to check in the show notes no matter what time you're watching this. If it falls out of flash sale, I'll try to have some good discount coupons that you can apply to keep the price down under $50, okay? What do you get for $50? Man, you get just about everything. In addition to your choice of band and color and all of that, you have ECG, the real deal, and body temperature. Let's run through it. You got a 200 milliamp hour battery, IP68 waterproofing in addition. Relatively long charging time. I'm surprised about that, but if you charge it overnight or in the morning, that's probably all right. When you do, you're going to get 7 to 15 days of use and 30 to 40 days of standby. It's a 1.7-inch TFT 240 by 240-inch screen, easy to see, easy to read. It's a metal alloy, stainless steel. You'll see all of that stuff. In terms of the features, you do have this ECG function, and it does AI medical analysis, okay? None of these things do diagnosis. That is not allowed. But it'll do an analysis that you can consult with your doctor on your ECG function. It also, as I said, has full body temperature monitoring. We don't see those two together very often at all. But add into that, you got blood oxygen, breath rate, all these other biometric things, and it's a really sweet watch. You've got exercise functions for your basic step count and multi-sport mode for your workouts, heart rate monitoring, blood pressure, other functions, eco-friendly TPU leather strap, metal strap, you name it, whatever you want to wear it with, you can get it. And in addition, you've got, of course, step count, calories, distance, on and on and on and on, and it'll support sharing with WeChat, QQ, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Here are the languages. Now, this is the languages for the device itself, and then the Tethering app has its own selection of languages, too, that will just automatically align to what you choose on your phone to be the language of choice. Looking at the specs in a different way, here we go. We're doing Bluetooth 4. We've got, like I said, 2.5 hours average on their charging time. That's it. That's it. All right. Let's dive in and take a look. It's a module by itself, so you're going to be able to put your own strap on it. It's got a cover on the front here, and it's also, and you want to make sure you take this off, the cover on the back. Because for ECG, it's electrical. You have two electrical plates here that are going to come in contact with your body. And with your finger, aha, look at that. There's another cover. I'm glad they made it blue and not clear. You want to peel that puppy off as well. You see the little zzz on the side? Where is it? Zzz. How do you spell that? With a Z, of course. Zzz. That is... Okay, settle down, settle down. When these are touching your body, you'll see all of this, and you touch with your other hand that button. It's not really a button, it's a surface. You make an electrical contact that runs through your heart, and the heart electrical signal is going to be picked up by this device. A lot of you know all that, but those that are new don't realize that ECG is electrical, and the little diodes that light up here that send light into your skin does a whole different thing for getting your heart rate and blood pressure and blood oxygen and stuff. We've got a Melanese, is that how you say it, band that we're going to put on this one. Comes with the pins as well. We've got all of that right here, and then underneath the covering, we got a few more goodies. A little QR code, or not QR, but a QC code for quality control when they put it together. The charging wire that you're going to need to work with, and it's your standard 2-pin magnetically coupled charging wire. Goes on like that. Not really, really strong, so be careful you get it aligned right at night and not kind of on there sideways. Make sure you got good connection for charging, especially since it has a relatively long charging time. And you got a manual, and you got the ECG test conditions and testing method. Now, study this carefully. I'm going to let you freeze frame that so that you can definitely set it up and get yourself an accurate ECG reading. Accurate meaning at least readable and understandable by your doctor. Your doctor can tell you if it's accurate or not. Here's the user's manual. Smart ECG and temperature, all in one. Open it up, we got all these different languages. Here's a layout of what's on the back of it, the different sensors and the front, and the business about charging, and it's going to be tethering to an app called SmartHealth. We've reviewed that before. It's a good app. It works really, really well. You can download it from the QR code, or the link is in the show notes directly under this video. It'll take you to the Google Play Store. I'm just going to hold this here and show you the manual page by page so you can come back and read it at your leisure. It basically is giving you a description of each of the pages, but that's what we do in the review. So let's jump into it. Here we go. I got the band on here. It's got a little magnetic class. It's already set. It's on, and I got some good data on here for you. First of all, it's got a short timeout too, and I haven't figured out how to make it longer. I want to let you know that this is primarily a health band. It's not so much for fitness or anything else, actually. Here's where you would see messages sent from your phone if you had any. Here's an overall do not disturb. You've got an about that tells you it's the E90, and then you've got settings, and that's all you have in this card. So let's take a look at settings. You have the option to twist your wrist to see the time and turn that on or off from there. You have brightness control. It's on its lowest level, gang. That is full bright, and it's so bright it will just saturate. You see, you can't even see the gradient there. Come back here. I'm going to turn it down to the lowest level for this review. You can reset the watch and turn it off, and that's all there is for settings. It's really, really a basic watch. Swiping up, you get into all of your apps. We're going to come back to that. Swiping this way, you get into your apps shown in icon form, most of them. This way now, we go through all the cards that show steps, hours, or distance traveled, and calories burned. You got a temperature area now. This is your actual current temperature, and it's showing you your temperature over time. Now, I had it off, and I put it on recently. It will not show you the temperature until it stabilizes. There we go. And it did at 97.7 degrees. Come over here. It immediately starts doing your heart rate. Yep. And it's showing you every hour. In the last 6 hours, when it hits noon, these will all go away, and it'll start for the afternoon. And same thing for the evening. Woohoo! I'm cooking. 100 BPM. You can't go up or down off of this. I went backwards. So you have temperature, you have heart rate. Then you come over here and you've got this ECG. I'm going to do that at the end. Come back over here one more, and now we're into blood pressure. You can see systolic and diastolic numbers right there. And in just a moment, it'll give you a reading. And of course, it's doing it according to the schedule you set in the app. I have it set up for like every 10 minutes or so. It takes a while. You need to hold still. And of all of these, blood pressure is the one I would question the most on any of these watches. It's using the green diode on the back. That's reasonable. And getting the data for you. So it's an optical way, not a cuff. Come over one more, we're doing blood oxygen. It's using the green diode as well. The newer fancy stuff uses red diodes, tends to be a bit more accurate. I'm looking at above 90%, which is where you should always be, and double check any of these readings against your own calibrated equipment. Let's just keep moving on because it's just going to give you a number there in a little while. Here, this is new. This is your breath rate. Rate per minute of your breathing cycle. Now, I'm talking a lot and not breathing regularly, so it's probably not picking up that deviation in my blood flow that goes with breath rate. But in the app, you're going to see where the breath rate is. Yeah, at 21, I'm usually around 15 or less. It just vibrated and stopped. So you do have that, which is something relatively new. Here's sporting activities: running, cycling, Looks like weightlifting. You come over here, you get all of those: fitness, skipping rope, and that's it. That's it. This is not really a fitness watch. There's no GPS in it, and the data that you get is relatively minimal. Heart rate, calories burned, and time. So in terms of using this for fitness, I would recommend get a different one. Use this for all of your health functions. This is not going to do much for you in terms of overall fitness, or sport as they call it. Weather in your area, there's your forecast and the current temperature and the sky conditions, and the time is on here. And now we're back here to what you get to if you go this way. Look familiar? Temperature, there's your workouts, there's your heart rate, blood pressure, here's the blood oxygen, this is your breath rate. See, they're all the same. Do not disturb. Oh, I'm sorry, that's last night's sleep time. Okay, we don't have a card on that, so here you go. Almost 8 hours of sleep, which is what you're supposed to have. Here is the weather report again, and then you've got a stopwatch. And the stopwatch now, unfortunately, will automatically reset itself when you leave it. It doesn't run in the background. Those can all be seen from here. Temperature, sport, heart rate, ECG, yep, we're still going to do that. Blood pressure, blood oxygen, respiration and sleep, timer. You have a music player, you don't see that anywhere else, and remote camera are shown in here as well. And those are all of the functions that you have on this watch. In addition, you got different watch faces. There's one. Here's a funky kind of digital one. There's a fancy one with a flipping card. Wow, it's almost 11 o'clock. Okay, heart rate and battery level. It's starting to drain down just a little bit. You have a couple more. This is a nice analog watch face here. And you see you've got pretty much edge-to-edge display on this watch. We've got another digital watch. We've got another analog watch. And then this is one that I downloaded from the store. There's not too many, 3 or 4 more that you can download, and they'll be added to the watch itself. So finally, I know you're asking for it, ECG. It's over here, and when you land there, you have to touch this button with your finger on your other hand, and you'll see the chart will start to build, and it's looking really noisy. I do have trouble with this being a good, stable ECG chart. The best way to do it is not to be talking, holding still. Get the electrodes back underneath there wet slightly on your arm. Wet the tip of your finger and hold it. You see when I take it off, it stops, electrode loss, 110 heart rate. It's just not working right now. But we're going to do it again from the app, and I'm going to get my finger wet, and we'll take a look at it over there instead, which is about what we want to do right now. Let's head over to the app and check it out. This is a common app for these bands and watches that do ECG and other activity. I've got it all set up already. It's now synchronizing to get the latest update information, and you have a variety of cards in here that include your step count with calories, distance traveled, and time, it says. There it's completed. Our ECG detection, blood pressure. When you come in here, you see all of those measurements from the morning all the way through the evening. All 24 hours are represented here. And you can get a sense for the direction your systolic, diastolic readings are going. If you want the individual readings, sure, they're right down here. And you have also your lowest and your highest. And you can change days, and you can export all of this stuff as well. Very robust. That's the blood pressure. Heart rate now. Same kind of thing. We have a continuous chart, midnight to almost noon, and here's your incremental measurements. There's when we took one quickly, and it's an off time. Otherwise, it's every 10 minutes in this case, because that's what I set it up for, and there's your overall reading, and that's what you're getting up here. When you get here, you're into sleep time now, whole different type of a chart showing you your deep sleep and light sleep, awake times, when you went to bed, when you got up, and some synopsis down here of total hours spent in each of those zones. And again, you can go back to previous days and such. blood oxygen. Now, we can rearrange these, by the way. I wouldn't want them in this order. I usually put sleep down later. Here's blood oxygen. Wow, look at that. It's pegging out at about 100, 98, 98, 98, I guess. 97, 97. Pretty good overall for my blood oxygen, although last night I was breathing softer, and looks like it may have fallen down as low as 92, 93. Which tells me I probably should be monitoring for sleep apnea. This, unfortunately, doesn't do that. It doesn't have that advanced scientific sleep capability that some of the bands do, but it does give you an indicator through the 24-hour blood oxygen of areas that you may want to check a little more carefully. This is the fun one. This is our respiratory rate, and look at that. There's the one I just did talking to you, and then while we've been sitting here, it did another one right at 11 o'clock. Got me 17 breaths per minute. And you can see way last night, early morning, look at this, 11, 12, 13 breaths per minute. That's very relaxed, very nice. Not many bands or watches will do this. So this is something unique here, to have your actual respiratory rate as well. And then your overall body temperature taken every 10 minutes. There's the one we took incrementally. I hover around 97.7 for some reason. But last night, look at that. I went up to 98.6 under covers and all warm. Not too much deviation. But of course, if you're ill, this is going to be really critical to see where it goes in terms of your actual body temperature. And that's it for all of these different cards. You come over to activity and you can access different activities that you can do, running, cycling, and whatnot. Shows you the map of your area and has the town that you're in. It's all lit up on the screen right there. That's in the activity tab. Care is when you make friends and you can connect with your friends and share information. But the main thing is here in settings. This is where you have the overall settings, setting up your step count per day, your targets for that, and sleep. You can modify your units here, including temperature, of course, and you can do WeChat connection as well. When you tap on the device, now you get deeper into all of the settings for the device. You can activate what notifications you want sent, turn on a sedentary reminder or set alarms. Here's your health monitoring, as little as 10 minutes all the way up to 60 minutes. That means once every hour or once every 10 minutes, it will take all these different readings for you. You can set up a temperature alarm. If it exceeds that temperature, it'll let you know so you can check on your health, see if you're dehydrated and overheating, or maybe you've caught something. You can find the device. You can set a heart rate upper alarm. There's your twist your wrist to see the time. Wear it on the left or the right. That's important for the ECG chart. Screen intensity is just for vibration. Undisturbed is the do not disturb, so it doesn't like light up the screen or wake you up at night. You can set the time frames that you want that to happen. Reset, take a photo, and completely disconnect the band from the device itself. So, coming into ECG, last thing we want to talk about. And this is where it gets a little bit trickier to take these readings because they happen every microsecond. They really do. When I start it here, it will begin automatically. So I'm going to set this down a little bit. I just licked my finger, got it wet. I'm actually going to lick a little bit under here. I know, it'd be better if I used water than my yucky finger, but hey, we're on a video. I'm going to hit this. Tells me to wear it nice and tight. Stay still. Hit start. I'm going to brace my finger here, and I'm going to touch it lightly here. And there you go. You see the little red line going. And it's starting to create the chart. It's giving us beeps on the peaks. I'm going to be quiet for a moment. It's really sensitive, guys. You see the heart rate in the upper left, heart rate variability in the middle, and it's doing blood pressure at the same time while it's measuring ECG. This is a very rough one. I'm not doing it properly. I'm not in a good position. The arm isn't across from my heart, and I'm talking to you. But it's working. Runs for about a minute. I'm going to wiggle my finger here to show you that it's live. It takes a moment for it to catch up with all of that stuff. Okay, I didn't wiggle it before it timed out. Anyway, it comes back quickly with an ECG artificial intelligence analysis report. It's a synopsis, not diagnosis. You cannot be diagnosed by these devices. Please do not rely on them. It's stating that the AI, as noisy and as crazy as it was, registered as being normal with a heart rate of 101. I think that's a bit high for me right now, but I am a little hyped up talking to you guys, so it's possible. Your age, sex, and all of that stuff was set up in the app ahead of time, and of course the numbers and the analysis will probably depend a lot on that too. You have a little representation of the chart. And it says that it was screening for all these different things, and it didn't find any indicator in the heart rate that could be characteristic of these kind of waveforms. If you get any of that stuff, make note of it, let your doctor know. If you don't get any of that stuff, don't assume that you don't have any of those problems. This is a toy. I put that in the disclosure at the bottom. It's just a toy to play with. Here's the overall chart. Will it rotate? No, but I think you can expand it. There you go. And it's showing you it was nice at the very beginning, and then I started talking. I just can't keep quiet. But you do get the chart that goes along with it. If you can't export it, you can do a screenshot of it, I'm sure. But you do get quite a bit of information. Now, another interesting fact is that when you do the ECG on the band itself, it will transfer that over when it synchronizes. And you can do several of them. So if you really set it up and you head over here and you begin the process of taking an ECG and let it go all the way to the very end when it says go to app, it will be saved on the watch and it will transfer over for later analysis, which is a really nice additional thing that it can do for you. Okay, so this is pretty much it. That's the app. Now, I want to tell you about the band. I'm about a 7-inch wrist all the way around circumference, and I can barely, well, I can't even actually get it on and off with it like this. So if your wrist is average male or larger, don't get the metal band one. You're going to have a really hard time messing around with it and have to slide it through every time you put it on. You could pick it up in a leather, brown or black, or you could get TPU in a variety of colors. But the metallic black band that you see here might be challenging if you have a medium to large wrist. You can pick the whole thing up, any of the styles that you want and any of the colors that it comes in, directly from Gearbest. Got a flash sale going on now, under $50. If you're watching this and it's after that, check the show notes for a special link I'm going to try to have set up for you that you can pick it up at a discount. Again, it's called the E90 Smartwatch Bluetooth. Bluetooth call. It doesn't actually support making Bluetooth calls. You can, get a call and reject it from the watch, but it doesn't have a speaker or microphone in it either, and so forth. It's a basic waterproof, splash-proof ECG watch with all the functions you saw today, and yeah, it could be something fun to play with. For about $50, you could have a lot of fun making ECG reports and whatnot. Alrighty, gang, that's it. We'll see you again soon, and thanks for watching.